Happy today. Happy today. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, all the beautiful things. We are in Corcula, actually across from the city of Corcula, which is beautiful. We haven't been into the city yet. We're right across from the marina. We pulled in here yesterday at about 1:30, 2 o'clock. I think that's right. And we found a beautiful spot. It's kind of close to the shore, kind of close to the beach. And so we set out the minimum amount of chain. The winds were supposed to die down. We did our due diligence. We've learned a lot since we began. And after we had set anchor, between like 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock, 12 boats came in. Oh my gosh. It was like a live Netflix show, sitting on the helm station and watching this. So it was a rough night because the winds actually didn't die down until 3:30 in the morning. And there's just a lot to consider when you're in a tight space with a lot of boats. Crossing your fingers that everybody set their anchor correctly, that they have enough chain out, that everyone's swinging in the right direction. So waking up here, beautiful. I am so happy. These kinds of nights, it's so nice to see daylight because you're like, okay, now I can deal. If I needed to deal with something, I can deal. So it's beautiful this morning. We're hoping to go into Corcula, the town. It looks like a medieval, like ancient parts of it. Obviously, the old town. It looks really, really beautiful. So I'm excited to explore that this morning. And then this afternoon, we have our silent contract call inside of the Women Living Fully Facebook group. So trusting we were going to stay here. We'll see. We'll see where we are. So who's here? Allison, bonjour. Joe, good morning. I love you all talking. 5 days in Norfolk. Not Norfolk, Virginia, Allison. Are you? Elaine, Halmea. Oh, I don't know how to say Romanian. Buena Dimini. Let me try it. I'm going to give it a shot. With a part Italian, part French accent, probably. Buona diminiata. Buona diminiata. Buona diminiata. Okay, someone who speaks fluent Romanian, help us out. Buona diminiata. Well, Hamea must be in Romania. That's beautiful, babe. Okay, Norfolk must be in the UK somewhere. All right, Hamea, gorgeous. All right, beauties. No, the original Norfolk. The OG Norfolk. Oh, that's so great.
America invented.
What's that?
America invented.
Dave's joking. He's saying America invented Norfolk. That's so funny. Elise is here. All right, gorgeous ladies. How are we feeling? How are we feeling inside? I have been having some really powerful dreams. Oh, I wanted to give you an update really quickly since you were with us yesterday when we woke up in the beautiful cove of Somograd. Somograd was where we were yesterday. Remember the story with the young man on shore? So after our call, we were getting ready to go in and we saw him starting to clean up and get ready. And Dave and I made the decision, like, let's not have any contact with him. Like, the girls were so excited to go to shore. We're like, let's not have any contact with him. Let's just let him have his space and do his thing. And then we'll go into shore after he leaves. So he left and we went over, and you remember me showing this to you yesterday, these beautiful things that are completely shifting once again my relationship with aging, because as they dry and age, they're even more beautiful with time. Like, isn't that stunning? So we went to shore, and where he had slept, he had 3 rocks, like little rock sculptures, and he had one of these on top of all the three structures. Like he created for himself this little space. He had one of these on either side and one in the front. So that was stunning miracle. So what I was going to say with that, because that was something that came through in my dreams as well. How have your dreams been? My dreams have been really intense the past few days, so it's something to pay attention to. Not to squeeze, not to force. It's just something I can feel. Since yesterday we were talking about listening to the universe and really knowing that we're always being responded to. So when we've asked a question, when something's bubbling up inside of us, when we're asking for guidance, looking for direction, it shows up in so many ways. It shows up in everyday life conversation. So cool yesterday too. The Port Authority came by because you pay to anchor here. This is stuff that happens during the summer. Even when you're not in a marina, they sometimes charge you to anchor, even when you're not in a mooring ball. So the Port Authority came by, and he was a really cool Croatian guy, actually super, super cool. And he made a comment to Dave about the responsible choice. Really, really cool. I forget where I was going with that, but I was very, very touched that the guy was talking to Dave about the responsible choice. I forget what I was going to tell you about that, but it was good. It was good.
He told us moving and dropping more chain tomorrow would be the responsible or something.
Yeah. He said moving and dropping more chain, something. But anyways, I forgot where I was going to go with that fully. I was talking about dreams. I was talking about signs. Like when you're looking for signs, like, and again, not really looking for signs in the way that we've been heard before. Like, I need a sign, I need a sign, I need a sign. I'm not talking about like desperation. I need a sign. I'm waiting for a sign. I don't mean that, because there's a little sneaky energy that we can do there where we actually pause and we put ourselves we take ourselves out of creation energy because we're saying, I'm waiting for a sign. Listening, like if you've been asking questions, what's coming through in your dreams and what's coming through in real life. So the reason that story came up for the Port Authority is because he said the responsible choice like 3 or 4 times. Like, it would be the responsible choice. He loved the name of the boat. And then Dave said, we do have a YouTube channel. And he was like, no, wait, do you really? I'm going to go look it up. And it was just so, to me, so affirming. Like Dave is pouring so much love and energy and so much devotion into this channel. And for me, it was an additional affirmation of like, you're onto something, like the universe saying, because he said the responsible choice like 5 times within like a 3-minute conversation with us. So that's what I meant. Like, what's coming through in your dreams? What are you sensing? Not squeezing your dreams. Right? We don't need to do a dissection every morning of like, wait, what was that? What was like, not something that causes tension. Just this openness inside of like, is something speaking to me from my dreams? So my grandma Rose was in my dream last night in a really beautiful way, different kind of scenario than I've ever had with her in that space. And she was saying a couple key things to me. My mom was in my dream with her, with my grandma, and so was my aunt. So there's something really potent about my lineage that's taking place. And the night before, I had my dad's mom, which I wasn't really that close to compared to my grandma Rose, especially like, even though we lived closer together, like in proximity, because she was in California, we were in California, but the emotional intimacy wasn't there. And in my dream the night before last, the night that we had the whole situation with the boy on the island and whatnot, she hugged me in my dream and she wouldn't let go. And I felt myself surrender and like melt into her arms. And I never had that with her before. So just witnessing, like for me personally, how much the feminine is pouring through, how much support I'm feeling in those realms. And it feels really significant to me right now because I'm in some big conversations inside of myself about success, about what this next unfolding looks like, not just for me personally, but for Elegant Femme and for women in general, and some things that I'm really, really being called to speak to. One, tonight with the silent contract that feels so huge that I'm getting confirmation from my lineage of like, this is something that all women have been unconsciously hooked into and we don't realize. And another one that came through yesterday while I was reading something that it's been kind of bubbling up underneath the surface for me for a long time, especially when it comes to higher levels of visibility. But I wasn't able to I was scared to voice it inside of myself. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to play with that today because I might share it on the call tonight. I don't know. I have to pray about it. So really, really big things. So yes, intense dreams, a gorgeous moon last night. Yes, there was a gorgeous moon last night. And apparently Dave told me tonight is the strawberry moon. So happens to be for our silent contract call is the strawberry moon. I had intense dreams too. One with a snake that makes me think about the resurrection program, right? Okay, so Stephanie, you are super tapped in because yes. Karen's here. Oh my gosh, so big. All right, beauties. So with that energy, with that opening, with that anchoring inside yourself with where you are and just what might be surfacing for you, let's move into lesson 184. So just if it feels good to you, taking a moment to stretch, move your body, loosen anything, even if it's not morning for you and it's the middle of the afternoon or the evening, you're watching a replay, whatever, just see if you can allow some space in your body and specifically your heart space. And for me, that typically looks like some neck situation. Father, Mother, God, thank you for it all. That's it. Is there something even better for the highest good of all concerned? Amen. Just thank you. All right. What do we have unfolding here today? Lesson 184 is today. So yesterday we had 183. I call upon God's name and my own. This morning, 184. The name of God is my inheritance. Did you do that at all yesterday? Did you meditate, and not just meditate, but did you hear or repeat the name of God? Did you find yourself saying it all? God, God, God. And again, you can swap that out with whatever you want. Life, power, creation, love, unity, whatever, light, whatever it is that resonates with you as that. Because I know for a long time, I didn't resonate with it, with God, with the word God. I actually really was challenged by it. I grew up with it, and then I really went far away from it because of what it, in my mind at that point, what it symbolized. And it didn't feel true for me. So as you're moving through the course, perhaps your relationship with the word God has changed, it's shifted. And perhaps now you do feel comfortable utilizing the word God, or perhaps you always did, or perhaps you still don't, and you want to utilize something else. Just gift yourself permission. This is yours, right? This is your evolution. These are your conversations. This is your awakening. Be aware of not getting into the right or wrong with it and just really personalizing what feels true to you. You will know inside when you're on the edge of your own creation, when you're on the edge of that conversation with God inside of yourself. You live by symbols. You have made up names for everything you see. Each one becomes a separate entity identified by its own name. But by this, you carve it out of unity. By this, you designate its special attributes and set it off from things by emphasizing space around it, emphasizing space surrounding it. The space you lay between all things to which you give a different name, all happenings in terms of place and time, all bodies which are greeted by a name. So it's talking about, obviously, the way with which we create separation by naming things differently. This space you see as setting off all things from one another is the means by which the world's perception is achieved. You see something where nothing is, and see as well nothing where there is unity, a space between all things and you. Thus do you think that you have given life in separation. By this split, you think you are established as a unity which functions with an independent will. So let's just feel that for a minute. The space that we've done that. The world is set up that way, right? From the time that we're young, babies, the first thing our parents teach us, which is important because it is how we operate in the physical world, is what is this called? Mama, Dada, ball. That was Dominic's first word, ball. Ball. And then I think Dada. Right? We do this. We're trained this way. So again, it's not about making ourselves wrong. It's just the awareness of, oh, okay, just allow it to go in. What are these names by which the world becomes a series of discrete events, of things ununified, of bodies kept apart and holding bits of mind as separate awarenesses? You gave these names to them, establishing perception as you wish to have perception be. The nameless things were given names, and thus reality was given them as well. For what is named is given meaning and will then be seen as meaningful, a cause of true effect, with consequence inherent in itself. This is the way reality is made by partial vision, purposefully set against the given truth. Its enemy is wholeness. It's really fascinating. How's this feeling? Right, Allison? So true. How is this feeling? It conceives of little things and looks upon them, and a lack of space, a sense of unity or vision that sees differently becomes the threats which it must overcome, conflict with and deny. Yet does this other vision still remain a natural direction for the mind to channel its perception? It is hard to teach the mind 1,000 alien names and thousands more, yet you believe this is what learning means. It's one essential goal by which communication is achieved and concepts can be meaningfully shared. This is the sum of the inheritance the world bestows, and everyone who learns to think that it is so accepts the signs and symbols that assert the world is real. It is for this they stand. Ooh, okay, are you ready for this? We here for it? We're here for it. They leave no doubt that what is named is there. It can be seen as it is anticipated. What denies that it is true is but illusion, for it is the ultimate reality. To question it is madness. To accept its presence is the proof of sanity. So it's talking about, you get it, right? It's just going into that we've named all these things in the world, and that's what's created separation and unity. And we've done it with the understanding or the belief that that's really what intellect is. And as we've done that, we've created space around things that we then feel we have to protect and kind of fight for, right? That we fight for the separation, that we fight for the specialness, that we fight for, no, this is me and that's you in everything. What denies that it is true is but illusion, for it is the ultimate reality. To question it is madness, to accept its presence is the proof of sanity. So saying that because of the way the world has been set up, anyone who questions that that's different, meaning, no, we're really all one. I'm that plant. I'm that plant, which needs to be watered. I'm that mango. I'm these glasses, like we're all one. The Course is saying anyone who can, this day and age, in our community, in our conversations, it's different, but for the majority of the world, that would be crazy talk. Yeah, I'm that plant, right? Such is the teaching of the world. It is a phase of learning. This is beautiful. It is a phase of learning everyone who comes must go through. But the sooner they perceive on what it rests, how questionable are its premises, how doubtful its results, the sooner do they question its effects. So what have been the effects on us individually, on us as a collective, when we see everything in separation? What is the effect of your relationship when you see everything in separation? And what happens when you consider otherwise? Dave and I have been having these conversations for decades in in more and more evolved ways as we grow, but it started something like the awareness inside of both of us that when we were saying something to the other person, it was because we felt it about ourselves. So if we were upset with the other person, we would slow down and say, whoa, I must be feeling that way inside of myself about myself. And this was huge inside, really slowing down to start to recognize that whatever it was we were feeling, we were seeing, we were projecting on the other person was something that was happening inside of us. And when you start to move through the world in this way and you consider it, there is such an intimacy that happens in relationship. And then, of course, extending it to the outside world, the beauty you see, right? What do you see when you look at this? What do you see when you look at that? What do you see? Can you see yourself in this? Can you see the beauty, the intricacy? Look at this. There's the weight of the rock. Yeah, can you see this beautiful river rock? There's the weight of the rock. There's the marine colony that attached itself to it when it was underwater for stability. This was grass, like tough grass, not like even floaty. It was like grass, like almost turf grass, almost. When it's underneath the water, that's how it feels. And when it dried, it became this delicate lace-like structure, and it still has the foundation. What do you see when you look at this? What do you feel when you look at this? What is this reflecting to you about you? Can you connect with this? Can you today pick up an object and be one with it? Let it speak to you. Feel your oneness with it. And start to trust yourself with the connection of life, not feeling like you need to be afraid, that you need to be separate, that you need to, because people do this, right? This is what every argument is about. This is what every war is about. It's I need to be separate from you. You're wrong. I'm right. And I feel unsafe in whatever your situation is. So I'm going to attack, right? All of the conversation right now, and really throughout the entire course, is that defensivelessness. Defensivelessness is strength. Yeah? How is this feeling? All right. I lost my page. So here we are. Okay. Learning that stops with what the world would teach stops short of meaning. In its proper place, it serves but as a starting point from which another kind of learning can begin. A new perception can be gained, and all the arbitrary names the world bestows can be withdrawn as they are raised to doubt. Think not you made the world. Illusions, yes, but what is truth in earth and heaven? But what is true in earth and heaven is beyond your naming. When you call upon a brother, it is to his body that you make the appeal. His true identity is hidden from you by what you believe he really is. His body makes response to what you call him, for his mind consents to take the name you give him as his own. And thus his unity is twice denied, for you perceive him separate from you, and he accepts his separate name as his. I don't know if you've read I don't know if it was David Hawkins, and I don't know if it was in Power versus Force or Letting Go. I think it was in Letting Go, or maybe I read it in his bio, but he talks about as he continued his spiritual evolution, he couldn't even use his own name anymore. He just started to say we, W-E. He didn't refer to himself by I or David anymore. He would say us and we. And he said it wasn't something that he really consciously thought about, but over time, nothing else made sense to him because of the connection he felt, because of what transformed inside of him around this truth. He wouldn't identify himself as separate. Isn't that so beautiful? So beautiful. It would indeed be strange if you were asked to go beyond all symbols of the world, forgetting them forever, yet were asked to take a teaching function. You have need to use the symbols of the world a while. I really love this. This is really important to hear and remember, because as we deepen in the course, it can sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to denounce the world, go up into a cave, meditate all day, just see only light? Like, and if you've read which one is this? Oh, it's not The Surrender Experiment. I think it's Untethered Soul. I think it might be Untethered Soul. Where is it? Michael? Is his name Michael? I think his name's Michael. Anyway, the author talks about having a spiritual awakening and feeling like he needed to remove himself from humanity. So he did go out and like remove himself and lived in a big, huge piece of property by himself. And over time, he kept getting brought back in to the real world and made the realization and recognition of like, okay, the spiritual evolution that's being called through me is not to separate myself from the world, not to go up into a cave or to only be able to meditate on hundreds of acres of land. Like, it's actually coming into humanity and dealing with all the shit that comes up inside of me when I'm triggered as hell by all the people around me that's actually supporting my spiritual evolution. So in this, like, it's not saying, it says very specifically, you don't have to drop all the symbols that you've been taught. Utilize them for the time being. They actually support you in being a teacher of God. We have to have a connection point. We have to have a means of communication. If we're communicating a different language, we won't be heard. And it's the same with the body. The Course says the body is a communication tool. If it wasn't needed to communicate, we wouldn't have it. So it's needed. So don't make the body wrong. When we're reading the lesson that says, I am not my body, I am free, I am as God created me, it's not about denouncing the body. It's about not overly attaching to it as a form of value. Like, that's my identity. I am that, which we've all experienced, at least I have. But it's also not about going to the other extreme and denouncing the body and not taking care of the body and not utilizing the body as a communication tool for joy and for happiness and for expression. Like, we can have fun in our bodies. There's nothing wrong with our bodies. They're not bad. They're not sinful. Yeah? Okay. All right. So you need to use the symbols of the world for a while. But be you not deceived. Talk about, like, Allison, what are they called? The double negatives, but like, for real, there's got to be an English term for this. But be you not deceived by them as well. So use them, but don't be deceived by them. Same with the body. Utilize your body, have fun in it, utilize it as a tool of communication, but don't be deceived. Don't buy it back into the illusion that you are your body. And it's part of it. Sometimes we forget and we require to remember. They do not stand for anything at all. And in your practicing, it is this thought that will release them from you. They become but means by which you can communicate. Bing, 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 bing. They become but means by which you can communicate in ways the world can understand, but which you recognize is not the unity where true communications can be found. Thus, what you need are intervals each day in which the learning of the world becomes a transitory phase, a prison house from which you go into the sunlight and forget the darkness. Here you understand the word, the name which God has given you, the one identity which all things share, the one acknowledgement of what is true, and then step back into the darkness, not because you think it's real, but only to proclaim its unreality in terms which still have meaning in the world that darkness rules. Do you get that? Do you feel that? This is what the meditation is really about. It's about stepping back into alignment and remembering the truth. It's about taking a time out from the physical world and saying, hold on a second. Okay. Inside the physical world, I'm seeing bills, I'm seeing financial conversations, I'm seeing people arguing, I'm seeing myself getting old and having wrinkles. I'm feeling myself worry and wondering how things are going to work out. And I'm seeing that so-and-so just lost somebody that they love, and that's causing me ache and pain. I'm seeing over here, these countries are fighting. Like, I'm seeing all this stuff in the physical world. I need a moment or moments every day where I say, hold on, None of that's really real. Let me come back into the truth. I was doing this last night when we were spinning in 17 knot winds. I could hear the wind rushing. I could see the boats around me. I could see, like, I might turn this around before we're done, although there's a kayak right in the way, and show you how close we are to this stone wall that's on the beach. Bringing myself back, like, okay, I can hear all these things. I can hear all the elements. I can feel the worry inside of me. I can feel the anxiety, but hold on, this isn't real. I am in the mind of God. And it's not to do a spiritual bypass. It's to actually come back into truth and to witness your true power, your co-creative power, to come back into alignment and be in that state of peace. Sometimes it only takes a holy instant, the Course says, to bring ourselves back into that space and be like, okay, this is what's true. This is what's true. And then the Course says, and then go back into it's calling it the darkness, right? Then go back into the real world with that remembering, and utilize the tools and the symbols and the names with which the world recognizes, so you can be a beacon in that way through that lens of communication. Yes? Apparently double negatives are called totes. So great, like all the conversations we have here. Okay. Then step back into the darkness, not because you think it's real, but only to proclaim its unreality in terms which still have meaning in the world that darkness rules. Use all the little names and symbols which delineate the world of darkness, yet accept them not as your reality. The Holy Spirit uses all of them, but the Holy Spirit does not forget creation has one name, one meaning, and a single source which unifies all things within itself. Use all the names the world bestows on them, but for convenience, yet do not forget they share the name of God along with you. Yeah, so move through the world. Remember, you are in the world, but not of it. God has no name, and yet God's name becomes the final lesson that all things are one, and at this lesson does all learning end. This is so freaking beautiful. God has no name. It's just a oneness. It's just an energy. Have you ever had an experience? I've had this 2, maybe 3 times in my life that I can remember, and I haven't had it in about a year, where everything in me went silent. So silent. Like that everything around me disappeared. So silent inside that I couldn't even find a thought. Where peace is the closest thing you can consider that has this energy, but there's such a beautiful, stunning silence. I've had it 2 or 3 times, and it's one of those, like, such an extraordinary thing that, you know, part of me is like, I want that back. But the truth is, I know it exists. That to me is this. Okay. And at this lesson does all learning end. All names are unified. All space is filled with truth's reflection. Every gap is closed and separation healed. The name of God is the inheritance God gave to those who choose the teaching of the world to take the place of heaven. In our practicing, our purpose is to let our minds accept what God has given as the answer to the pitiful inheritance you made as fitting tribute to the Son God loves. No one can fail who seeks the meaning of the name of God. Experience must come to supplement the word, but first you must accept the name for all reality and realize the many names you gave its aspects have distorted what you see, but have not interfered with truth at all. One name we bring into our practicing. One name we use to unify our sight. And though we use a different name for each awareness of aspect of God's children, of us, we understand that they have but one name, which God has given them. It is this name we use in practicing, and through its use, all foolish separations disappear which kept us blind, and we are given strength to see beyond them. Now our sight is blessed. With blessings we can give as we receive. The prayer, God, our name is yours. Life, our name is yours. That's what it's saying, that God gave you your name. God gave you, your name is God. Your name is life. Your name is love. Your name is holy. Your name is light. You're one with God. That's the name you were given. God, our name is yours. In it we are united with all living things. And you who are their one creator, what we made and call by many different names is but a shadow we have tried to cast across your own reality. And we are glad and thankful that we were wrong. All our mistakes we give to you that we may be absolved from all effects of our errors seem to have. And we accept the truth you give in place of every one of them. Your name is our salvation and escape from what we made. Your name unites us in the oneness which is our inheritance and peace. Amen. Holy wow. The name of God is my inheritance. Michael Singer. That was it. The phrase in the world, but not of it, came up repeatedly today. Ah, wow. Nikki's here. Yes, a silent stillness. Yes, yes, yes. Amen. All right, beauties. There we go. There we are. Who else is here? I see more and more women joining us live every day, and it gets me so excited. So if you haven't said hello yet and you're new to Elegant Femme, if you're new to joining us inside of Chic 365, please say hello so we can welcome you and love on you. And all of you that are here so often, please know how much I love you and appreciate you, and I love seeing you every morning. And of course, if you're watching the replay as well, say hello. Let me know how this is serving you, how this is supporting you. What are you celebrating? What's moving through you at this particular point in time? With that, I'm going to go into the ancient town of Corcula. We'll see what's waiting there for us. Actually, let me show you. We can do this now. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, there's a little beach bar over there, and there's a wall. Do you see how close we are? You see the kayak, but you see how close we are to that little brick wall? That was the concern in 18 knot winds. And here we're going to turn. How beautiful. Little beach chairs. Yes, yes, yes. It's so pretty. Let me see if I can turn it all the way you can get a full view. There's the plant I need to water. There we go. This is fun. Oh, we're going to come all the way back around. All right, I'll leave you with that.